We all think of our Wi-Fi as our own little private connection to the world, right? But what if I told you your router is basically having a non-stop, invisible conversation with every other router around you? Yeah. And in a lot of our neighborhoods and apartment buildings, that quiet conversation has turned into a full-blown shouting match.
So how do we get everyone to quiet down? Well, that's what we're digging into today. This is part 6 of a detailed 10-part report from the folks at RFI Detectives, a part of Virtualization Options LLC. Their research really points to one huge idea. We need to stop fighting our neighbors for airtime and start cooperating so we can all have better and much safer Wi-Fi.
So you've done all the standard stuff. You ran a scan, you found the least crowded channel, maybe you were even a good neighbor and turned the power down a bit. You're thinking, I'm all set. But what if that's just scratching the surface? And what if the other stuff, the stuff you haven't touched, is actually making the problem worse for you and everyone around you?
To really get what's going on, we have to look past just the channels and the power settings. We've got to venture deep into the advanced settings menu on your router. You know, that's the place where all this modern hardware tries, and honestly often fails, to manage our crazy, chaotic wireless world all by itself.
Okay, we're talking about some really powerful features here. Things like beamforming, which tries to aim the signal right at your phone or laptop, or DFS, which is supposed to automatically jump to cleaner channels, and band steering, which pushes your devices onto the faster 5 GHz band. Now on paper, these all sound great, and sometimes they are. But every single one of them changes the radio frequency environment, not just for you, but for all your neighbors too.
And here's the absolute key. These are not set-it-and-forget-it features. There's no one-size-fits-all best way to configure them. A setting that might give you a tiny boost in a quiet house out in the suburbs could be an absolute wrecking ball in a packed apartment building, creating a ton of interference for everybody else.
And this is where we see a really dangerous pattern starting to emerge. Your Wi-Fi choices don't just exist in a bubble. They create a ripple effect that kicks off this invisible arms race where the only thing that gets destroyed is good performance for the entire community.
You've probably seen this happen. It goes like this. Step 1, your connection starts to stink, video is buffering. Step 2, you go out and buy a brand new, super powerful router to fix it. Step 3, that new gear just blasts the airwaves with way more RF energy. Step 4, this makes your neighbor's connection even worse. And step 5, well, they go out and buy an even more powerful router, and the whole cycle just repeats, making the airwaves more and more polluted with every single turn.
See, every time one person tries to fix their own connection without thinking about anyone else, they just pump more noise into our shared space. It's like we're all in a crowded room trying to shout over each other to be heard. And what's the result? Nobody can hear anything. Nobody wins this arms race.
But I want to be really clear about something. This isn't just about your Netflix stream lagging. Oh no, the stakes are much, much higher than that. When your network gets this unreliable because of all this RF pollution, it can cause critical systems in your home, systems that depend on Wi-Fi, to just fail. I really want you to let this quote from the report sink in. When Wi-Fi interference causes a security camera to go offline, it is not merely a technology failure, it is a security breach waiting to be exploited. Whoa, that completely reframes the problem, doesn't it? This is no longer just a performance issue. This is a serious safety and security risk.
And what exactly are we talking about here? We're talking about your security cameras going dark at the worst possible time. Smart locks that just won't respond when you need them to. Wi-Fi calling, which for many people is their main phone line, dropping a 911 call. Or even worse, a critical security alert from your alarm system that never even makes it to your phone. These systems don't just get slow, they completely fail, right when you need them the most.
So how on earth do we stop this downward spiral? Well, the answer isn't another, even more expensive router. It's about a total shift in how we think about this. The solution is cooperation. It's about deciding, as a community, that we're all going to be good radio frequency neighbors.
I mean, just look at these two approaches side by side. The choice is so obvious. If you go it alone, it's just a race to the bottom. You buy a stronger router, you raise the noise floor for everyone, you make your neighbors' networks worse, and in the end, everybody's performance tanks. But look at the cooperate column. You coordinate your settings, you actively lower the noise floor, and suddenly, everyone's performance and their security goes up together.
So here's the big takeaway. This is not a zero-sum game, where for you to win, your neighbor has to lose. It's actually the complete opposite. By coordinating with your neighbors to help them, you are directly helping yourself because you're reducing the interference that's blasting back at you. A calmer, more coordinated RF environment means better
safer, and more reliable performance for every single person.
So that really leaves us with one final, very simple question to think about. I want you to look at your router, think about its settings, its power, how far it reaches, and ask yourself, is it being a good neighbor? Is it working with the community? Or is it just another loud voice shouting over everyone else? The performance and the security of your entire community might just depend on your answer. Thanks for watching.